Good evening. My name is Carlos Rodriguez, and I am the Community Organizing Director for LA at Innovate Public Schools. Welcome to our LA Unified Candidate Forum series. At Innovate, we believe that feet are a source of power, and I am so excited that your feet and your hearts brought you here tonight and will bring you to the polling booth. I am also excited that we are hosting the candidates for Board District 5. Let's give them both a round of applause. Before we begin, we want to take a moment to acknowledge that yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day. This day, yes, this day honors the rich history, cultures, and contributions of indigenous communities. It's an opportunity to recognize the resilience, wisdom, and influence of Native peoples, while also reflecting on the lasting impact of colonization on their lands and lives. My hope is that yesterday's Indigenous Peoples Day was a chance to reaffirm our collective commitment to justice and to celebrate the enduring strength of Indigenous communities today. One of my favorite poets, Joy Harjo, who was our first Native American poet laureate, ends her beautiful poem, Talking with the Sun, with the following stanza. Though I was not at home, bundling up the baby to carry her outside, I carried this newborn girl within the cradle board of my heart. I held her up and presented her to the sun so she would be recognized as a relative, so that she won't forget this connection, this promise, so that we all remember the sacredness of life. That is why we are here today, to entrust whichever candidate wins for Board District 5 with the sacredness of our little ones, and not so little ones. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dalia Velasco, and I am with the Alliance for a Better Community, and we're happy to be hosting you here tonight. I want to echo the sentiments that Carlos shared earlier on you all really taking your power to come and educate yourself on the candidates running for the Board District 5 seat. Really want to congratulate you on using that power tonight. I want to draw your attention to the slide deck over there. And before we get started with the night, before we're going to hear a lot about Board District 5 and the vision that these two candidates have, I wanted to kind of paint the picture of who BD5 is, or Board District 5. Board District 5 is a vibrant, diverse community stretching from Northeast LA through neighborhoods like East Hollywood, Eagle Rock, Koreatown, and Southeast LA, or CISLA, encompassing cities such as Vernon and Southgate, as well as parts of South LA. It's a sprawling area home to people from all walks of life, and tonight we gather to hear from the candidates running to represent this district. BD5 serves about 73,400 students, making it the second largest district of LAUSD's 7 districts. The district is made up of about 136 schools and education centers, including 1 dedicated special education center. Within BD5, about 11,000 students have disabilities, and nearly 17,500 are classified as English learners, with another 21,500 students who have reclassified and gained English proficiency. Sorry, I know I just threw a lot of numbers at you. These numbers reflect the multilingual richness of BD5, where 6,300 students are part of dual language programs, learning in 2 languages, which we believe is a powerful tool for success. The student body in BD5 is overwhelmingly Latino, with 89% of students identifying as such. Following them are 4.2% of students identifying as white, 2.7% identifying as Asian, and roughly under 2% identifying as African American or Black. These demographics reflect the vibrant cultural diversity that makes up BD5 and such a unique part of Los Angeles. However, we also have a lot of work to do. Currently, just under half of BD5's high school graduates, 48%, complete their A through G requirements, a crucial step towards college eligibility. The district also serves its youngest learners. About 1,600 children are enrolled in early education centers, laying the foundation for a lifelong of learning. As we move forward into tonight's forum, it's critical that we keep these students, their families, and their communities in mind. The candidates you'll hear from are vying to represent this complex, diverse, and dynamic district. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the people, their futures, and the role education will play in shaping them. Thank you, and now I'd like to welcome up Marisol Coronado. Marisol is an active parent leader in Southeast LA, or CISLA, and will kick us off with some opening remarks. Welcome, Marisol.
Gracias, Dalia. Buenas noches a todos por estar aquí. Mi nombre es Marisol Coronado, yo vivo aquí en la ciudad de Huntington Park. Yo tengo un hijo que cursa el séptimo grado en el Distrito Unificado de Los Ángeles. Él tiene una IP y gracias a las tutorías que logramos, su nivel académico mejoró mucho. Por eso yo quisiera que las tutorías siguieran en todo CISLA y en cada una de las escuelas del Distrito Unificado de Los Ángeles. Para mí es un honor estar aquí representando a mi comunidad y trabajar para fomentar el voto hispano, porque cada voto cuenta y hace la diferencia. Gracias a las organizaciones que luchan junto con nuestros promotores de CISLA Vota para que nuestra voz sea escuchada. Estoy muy emocionada y orgullosa que vamos a tener nuestra representante latina en el Distrito 5. Porque conocen nuestras necesidades y sobre todo habla nuestro idioma. Por eso quiero pedirles que trabajen para la comunidad y no en contra de la comunidad, para que cada estudiante logre sus sueños. Ahora para mí es un honor presentar a la moderadora de esta noche, la doctora Felisa Ortiz. Ella viene representando de la campaña para oportunidad de colegios. Gracias, doctora.
Gracias, Marisol. Good evening, muy buenas tardes. My name is Felisa Ortiz and I'm the Executive Vice President at the Campaign for College Opportunity. And it is a pleasure to be here. It's a real full circle moment because in 2003, I was a field deputy, and then later a director of policy for Board District 5. So this was the area that I was a liaison for, and I had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful community members from the different CISLA communities. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you for joining us and for joining us today, because your presence is a real testament to your commitment to LA's public education system and the future of our students. And I see some of the students. If you're a student and you're here, raise your hand, because we're all here for you. Bienvenidos. Before we dive into the evening's forum, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the many organizations that made this event possible. And we're grateful for our lead partners, Alliance for a Better Community. If you could just raise your hand if you're from Alliance for a Better Community. Communities and Schools of Los Angeles, Innovate Public Schools, and of course, a big thank you to all of you and all of the partners that you will see listed in various materials. I think there's a PowerPoint deck. All of you, the students, the families, the educators of LAUSD, and all those that work every day to make sure that our students and our communities receive a quality education. Over the last 25 years, much of the progress in LAUSD has been driven by the passion and activism of community members like you. Community members that are demanding more funding, tailored supports and services, and high-quality public instruction for our students. This evening is a continuation of that collective effort to collaborate and also maybe hold our leaders accountable to ensure that they hear our voices. You have heard about the work of the CISLA Vote Initiative tonight. Again, I think there's some pictures of some of the CISLA folks. And as we are here, they're out there. We have promotores and promotoras out in Board District 5, making sure that our community members and that their voices are heard at the polls. They've knocked hundreds of doors and made hundreds of calls, engaging voters to ensure a strong turnout in both the primary and now in the general election. So let's give them a round of applause because they're engaging our community in their civic duty. Arriba los promotores y las promotoras. Tonight, the focus is really on our candidates, and we're here to hear directly from them to understand their plans to support our schools and to uplift the voices of students, parents, and community members. We want to ensure that whoever is elected to the school board will prioritize the needs of our communities. Let's not forget that LA Unified is the second largest school district in the country and responsible for educating nearly 420,000 students across more than 1,000 schools and across more than 26 cities. On top of the 110,000 students who are also enrolled in public charter schools. So it's 420,000 in LAUSD plus 110,000 in public charter schools. And those schools fall under the jurisdiction of LAUSD. It's important to note the top 3 largest school districts in the US, from the top 3, LA Unified is the only one with an elective school board. So others have hybrid boards or the mayor appoints the school board members. But here in LAUSD, we have the opportunity to elect our representatives. And that is quite a privilege, and to hold them accountable. Forums like this are vital because we as a community have the power to choose who leads our school board, who represents our voices, and who advocates for us. The school board plays a very important role. They approve the policies that guide the district. They oversee an annual budget of $18.4 billion, that's with the B, capital B, and they hire, evaluate, and if necessary, dismiss the superintendent. These responsibilities make the school board essential in shaping the educational success of all of our students in our communities. When the school board makes decisions, it listens to a lot of voices. And we want to make sure that the parents in this community, in this room, are part of the voices that are elevated and uplifted when the board is making decisions. So before we begin, I want to share some housekeeping rules to ensure that the candidates are clear about how this forum will unfold. Tonight, the questions have been prepared by event organizers, parents, and students. The audience has also submitted additional questions in writing the audience may also submit additional questions in writing during the forum. So you will have access to an index card, and you could also submit your question, and as time allows, we will ask those questions of our candidates. We are asking our volunteers, if you're a volunteer, please raise your hand. We're asking the volunteers to collect the index cards. I see a volunteer there and a couple in the back. And you'll have until 6:45 to submit your question. And when you have the question, raise your hand so that the volunteers could collect the card. The questions will be sorted and will be reviewed to make sure that we don't have multiple questions that are asking the same thing. And then we'll get to as many of the questions from the audience as time allows. The candidates will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. And earlier today, we flipped a coin. And so we will, Graciela Ortiz will be the first to speak because she won the coin flip, followed by Karla Griego. The candidates will have equal time to respond to questions. They will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves, 2 minutes to answer questions, and then 2 minutes to provide wrapping remarks. We have a timekeeper here in the front that will be helping us in the evening. And the time will start as soon as you are called upon. So as soon as I state the question, the time will start. If you have any clarifying questions, I'm happy to repeat the question, but again, that goes towards your 2 minutes. A note to the candidates and the audience members, please withhold any personal attacks. Personal attacks are not permitted. And again, this is for not only the candidates, but all of you, the audience. We will not allow any personal attacks, and you will receive a warning, candidates and audience, if you do engage in any type of personal attack. Please be respectful, audience members. Let's be respectful of our candidates. And we ask you to stick to the issues. Candidates, as you're answering the question, please try to answer the question directly. Let's see what else we have here. The questions have not been shared with the candidates ahead of time. So as you're listening to the question, it's also the first time that they are listening to the question. Both candidates who made it to the November runoff in Board District 5 are with us this evening. And thank you both for accepting the invitation to engage in community with all of us. And one last request to our candidates, please slow down your delivery to enable the interpreter to properly translate your message. Again, we have parents, students, educators, community-based organizations, and community members in this room. And now it's time to meet our candidates. And so we have, again, 2 of our candidates here, Graciela Ortiz, who will provide the opening remarks. She is the Regional Administrator of Pupil Services and Attendance in Los Angeles Unified School District, as well as the former mayor of this beautiful city of Huntington Park. And we also have Karla Griego, who is a special ed teacher in Los Angeles Unified School District, as well as a community school coordinator. We will begin with Graciela Ortiz, and she has 2 minutes to provide her opening remarks. And Graciela, your time starts now.
All right. Buenas tardes, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Graciela Ortiz, and welcome to the beautiful city of Huntington Park. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm a daughter of immigrant parents from Mexico, raised by a single mother because my dad died when I was 6 months. I'm the youngest of 4 and the first in my family to go to college. I'm a product of LAUSD, graduated from Huntington Park High School in 1999, back when LAUSD had a 50% dropout rate. I like to say that I'm one of the lucky ones because too many of my friends and family dropped out of school. That's the LAUSD that gave me my foundation. I was blessed enough and lucky enough to get to UCLA, got my bachelor's degree in sociology, went and got my master's degree in social work from Cal State Long Beach. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm currently working on my doctorate in educational leadership. Working on my dissertation, should be done in March. For the past 18 years, I've been a counselor, pupil services and attendance, 15 of those years, an administrator for the last 3, breaking down every possible barrier that impedes a child from being in school. I've also served on the Huntington Park City Council for 9 years, where I'm happy to say that 1/3 of our city has free Wi-Fi because of an initiative that I started, and we're gonna have free Wi-Fi in the entire city in the next couple of years. In addition, I was able to secure 5 years of free tutoring for the next 5 summers in our parks. I'm running for LAUSD because for far too long, we have not had a voice on our school board. I want safety in our schools, fully funded schools, and most importantly, equity. Our children deserve quality education. It doesn't matter where we live, where in Board District 5, what our zip code is. Our children deserve to graduate, college, and career ready. I want to be able to be your voice on that school board. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Graciela. And now, Karla, Griego, if you could please introduce yourself.